Hello, I'm Todd Starnes. Same-sex marriage is now legal in all 50 states. That ruling handed down by the Supreme Court in a 5-4 decision. One of the most outspoken opponents of gay marriage is Franklin Graham, and he joins us live now from North Carolina. Franklin, just a few moments ago on your Facebook page, you posted just a brilliant message, and you write this: with all due respect to the court, it did not define marriage and therefore is not entitled to redefine it. Franklin, I want to get your reaction to the ruling today.
Todd, of course, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed because our government is recognizing sin. This court is endorsing sin. And that's what homosexuality is. It's a sin against God, just like any other sin. But for the court to endorse sin, I'm saddened for our country. And so we'll have to go by with what the court says. But as far as for me, I will never recognize it in my heart because God gave marriage between a man and a woman, and that's what marriage is. And I don't think the court, since it never defined marriage, it doesn't have the right to redefine it. God gave us marriage, and that's just it. That's period. And God does not change his mind.
You know, President Obama just a few moments ago tweeted these words, #LoveWins. Who, in your estimation, is the loser today?
Well, I think our country is the loser because marriage is the institution that God has given. And for us now to give this to same-sex couples, and who's to say that a few years from now that a man cannot marry his daughter?
Franklin, that does seem to be a valid concern that people have, and we've seen the messages that you've posted on Facebook, and we've seen religious leaders from many denominations say, hey, look, this is going to be open season on Christian business owners, on pastors and churches that may not perform same-sex weddings or ceremonies. What are your concerns for those Christians, and what is your word of warning to them?
Well, you better be ready and you better be prepared because it's coming. I think there will be persecution of Christians for our stand.
And now some final thoughts. The Supreme Court's decision means gay rights now trump religious liberty. And if you think the cultural purging of the southern states has been breathtaking, wait until you see what the activists are about to unleash on American Christians. Churches and faith-based organizations should be prepared to be hit with lawsuits and government investigations. Pastors who refuse to perform gay marriages and preach from the Bible should prepare for hate crime charges. All dissent will be silenced. Will be silenced. Will be silenced.
If you don't know who rapper Pastor Troy is, allow me to introduce you. He's a musician and radio personality, and he's also a member of the group Down South Georgia Boys. Pastor Troy has produced songs like No More Play in GA, By Any Means Necessary, and Attitude Adjuster. On Instagram today, he took shots at Lil Nas X, writing, "Welp, I guess I won't be winning a Grammy if I gotta wear this." Pastor Troy added that they love to push this expletive on our kids. What really got people talking, however, was the story that he also shared in that post about a recent meal that he and his son had at Applebee's. He writes that he and his son saw two men kissing inside of the restaurant. And after seeing the men kiss, his son said, quote, "F Applebee's," and that it brought joy to his heart. He wrote he sees it, their agenda to take the masculinity from men, especially black men. I get that some people may feel uncomfortable with public displays of affection. Not everybody wants to see a couple of folks out kissing. But what we don't know is to what extent their display of affection, how far it went. And honestly, it doesn't really matter. Pastor Troy, based on the post, suggests that there is a gay agenda being pushed on men all over. And I don't believe that for one instance. And nothing could be further from the truth. There is no gay agenda. There is no gay agenda. There is no gay agenda.
Hip hop is gay. You know, that's how they're fashioning it right now. You know what I'm saying? You got the secret society. putting molds in place and trying to dilute the culture with fancy. That's what they trying to do. They trying to push this into our youth. And they're doing a great, great job. They started out with some of they used some of the bigger acts to wear the dress first. Now the dress is like worldwide. You got people like Jaden Smith and them. You got a couple of football players with the dress on. You know what I mean?
If y'all ain't seen the Boondocks is about two black little boys that move with their grandfather. I don't know where they were staying at first, but they moved with their grandfather in a big house, and their grandfather is now taking care of them. But it's so much truth into these cartoons, proving my point that these cartoons are predictive programming, which, you know what I'm saying, it's not a prediction, it's the prediction program, you know what I'm saying? They want to put this out, and when it actually happened, they were like, damn, they predicted this. No, it's predictive program.
Pearl necklaces. I didn't know men wore pearls.
Wait, what the hell are you wearing? Is that a bra?
What? It's just a wife beater.
Wear your pants. Why are you wearing a skirt?
No, Granddad. These are gangsta-licious shorts for thugs. See, they got an extra flap with a pocket, so you hide what you want to hide from the police. Kinda hot, right? You want me to see if he got your side?
But you're carrying a purse.
What? Come on, Granddad. This ain't no purse. It's a gangsta-licious man bag. Man bag. Man bag.
The agenda for homosexuality in our hip-hop culture is to defeminize or the masculinity of the original man, so we could be subservient and submissive. It's easier this way.
It's no longer a secret that there is a homosexual agenda being spread throughout the black community by these secret societies. All of the past and previous events, such as the Trayvon Martin, Eric Garner, George Floyd, and Breonna Taylor case, were all events staged and designed by the occult to cause an uproar and a call for change from the masses, utilizing the Black Lives Matter movement and many other movements as a weapon that would unite the LGBTQ community with Christians and heterosexuals as one, so that it becomes normalized and accepted throughout the world.
All of the athletes, entertainers, and radio personalities that you've seen in the industry are all puppets working together for the occult to further their homosexual agenda, such as Charlemagne the God, who sells this image of being pro-black, meanwhile pretending to attack his fellow agent Tekashi 69 is nothing more than controlled opposition. Tekashi 69 is an agent provocateur for the occult with rainbow hair who the occult is pushing to feminize the young men of the next generation. They're both simply two separate legs walking in the same direction of a new world order.
If Tekashi 69 beats this case, I'll suck his dick.
Charlemagne was well aware of the fact that Tekashi 69 would beat his case before it even went to trial. He was given orders by the occult to say that he would suck off Tekashi if he beat his case to subconsciously influence his male audience to partake in homosexuality. The occult and the higher-ups on the pyramid are in full control of the court system and have all of the power to make someone guilty or not guilty. Your subconscious mind influences 90% of what we do, and this is why the occult tricks the mind and your emotions to lead you right into their trap.
Tekashi 6ix9ine took the stand yesterday. The first day of testimony went down yesterday, and that will continue today. He is a cooperating witness, and some of the things that happened in the courtroom, he's testifying to help make the government's case. He talked about his music career starting. He said in 2014 he was working at the Stay Fresh Grill and Deli in Bushwick. That's where he met Peter Righteous P. Rogers, who asked him if he could rap. He also talked about the history of Gummo, and he said that track was actually aimed at Trippie Redd. Trippie Redd. Signed to the same label. And then he talks about after releasing the song Gummo, he knew he had a formula, and that formula was to repeat the gang image, promote it. He said that's what people like. To repeat the gang image, promote it. He said that's what people like. Also, after the success of the song Kuda, he said he officially became a 9 Trey member, but he never had to go through the initiation. In return for him making money for the gang, he says that he got his career, street credibility, protection, all of it.
Today it goes down. Listen, I don't feel sorry for him. Niggas make choices, all right? I remember when 6ix9ine came here the first time and I tried to warn him and everybody said I was trying to troll him, I was hating, I was trying to get in his head. Listen, I hope you have a long career, but let's see if you're around next year. And I mean that as an artist and as a human being.
I'll be out to 2020.
Why are they not televising that?
I was curious
there's no
too.
cameras allowed in there.
Really?
And I'm wondering what happens when he comes out. Does he do a gospel album? Does he start rapping again? Do people care?
You know what's gonna happen when he comes out?
Nothing.
He's gonna pick up right where he left off.
And then kids are gonna follow him.
He gonna put out music, people gonna play the music, he gonna be on the gram having a good time, and people gonna act like they didn't even know he did what he just did.
Because he can't be a witness protection with the big 6ix9ine on his forehead.
Nobody cares. This is a different era.
People assume, they assume that we now live in a democratic world. It's like, oh, we're now in a democratic world and people are run by, rich industrialists, for example, and politicians, and they don't see the connection of, again, these bloodlines. But now you mentioned, the nature of the externalization of the Illuminati. And what does that mean? I mean, are you referring to the society of the hip hop culture where Jay-Z, displays the Illuminati logo and rappers talk about it in their songs? Is that what you're saying as far as the externalization?
That was like one of the major areas where they first began to externalize it, was to make it popular, make it part of pop culture. And how do you do that? You get your icons, your entertainment icons, to start using all of these, all these hand gestures where they're doing the pyramid with the one over their eye and all this other stuff, and all these other signs. To make it cool.
For thousands of years, Satan has deceived the world in all types of ways. And in these last days, he has used one of his greatest weapons, music. According to the scriptures, he was created as an angelic musical conductor. When the presence of the Most High moved in heaven, he would play the most beautiful music. Musical instruments were created in him. The anointed cherub with great musical talent, and like the Pied Piper, he plays his music and causes the youth to follow him to their own destruction. How does he do it? By bringing forth musical prophets that will capture the mind of millions of people and cause them to disobey Elohim in worshiping Satan.
Music is considered somewhat of a universal language in which the listeners are in tune with the sound more so than the lyrics and the covert elements or demonic suggestions. The lyrics do play a major role in how we are affected by the music, but the major pull, I would say, would be the sound that's applied to the lyrics. Now that is what actually gets you to listen to the music in the first place. You ever notice how a song can say some of the most diabolical things and is simply written off as the artist displaying his or her musical talent? Let's use, for example, a song that glorifies rape. If you were having a personal conversation with someone about such a violent act, would you think it was normal for them to justify this act in conversation? Most of us would think it was strange, but if you put it to a song or add some music to it, it becomes the latest hit. So now we can plainly see that the music industry is no joke. It's not some innocent form of artistic expression that we should just see as innocent. It's a special demonic force that's attached to this very industry and is after your soul. What many don't understand is that the music industry is not some innocent medium in which we listen to merely for pleasure. It's a very notable tool being used to control and program the minds of its listeners. Nowadays, don't gotta be a baseline. The only time I feel alive when I taste it.
The occult purposely used their puppet future to say these homosexual lyrics to plant a seed into the minds of the masses. Kodak Black confronting him about the lyric was just a ploy to bring more awareness to the song and to give it more attention, so that more people would listen to it and it would enter their subconscious mind.
This shit right here threw me, dog. I gotta call my nigga Future. I gotta hit him up and ask him this question and shit. I'm doing it on live. I probably shouldn't even did this on live. Yo, hey, bro. Hey, I'm listening to this song, dog. A nigga fuck with you so tough, homie. What did you say this part right here, bro? What you said right there?
The only time I feel alive when I take.
When you take?
Yeah, like I take a pill. Only time I feel alive when I take.
Yeah, what it...
Future denying the homoerotic lyric was simply just deception, saying words that mirror their agenda. Lying is a common form of deception. If you can get someone to imagine something vividly enough, you are well on your way to making the suggestion real.
Don't sleep on this lady, her pussy, her pride. Digging her back while I'm gripping her side. Nigga mad back, this ain't regular size. Packing up all the guard, fucking up all the ops. Gucci everything from the side. Buy a pair of shoes for a bar. Make sure dragon top.
Look at the transgender situation. We live in a world now where everything has to be black and white. You're for us or you're against us. You're good or you're bad. You're black or you're white. When everything is a shade of grey. Everything, the truth is always somewhere in between the polarities. So if you look at the transgender thing, again, it comes under this heading of, if it's the agenda, you won't have the right for another opinion. Because if you're trying to sell the idea that there is no biological difference between men and women, well, you're on a loser, because you can't win that debate. But if you silence the opposition and you intimidate them into silence through abuse and all the rest of it that comes from that, then you don't have to win the debate. Of course, there is no debate. And your view will prevail, and we're seeing it prevail all the time. Now, this is the difference. If people feel that they're in the wrong body, that's none of my business. It's their business. And if they want to self-identify as a sex different to their body, good luck to you, mate. A, it's your right to do that, and B, it's none of my business. But that's not what it's about. That's the foot in the door. The foot in the door says, we must not discriminate against transgender people. Okay, my hands go up. Absolutely agree with you. We shouldn't discriminate against anybody. But that's when it starts, and then it starts to move. And now suddenly, you can't say this, you can't say that, you can't have this opinion, you can't have that opinion. If you're a parent and you don't like what's being taught to your kids at school, then you're a bigot, and you're transphobic, and the whole thing expands. from the initial, we mustn't discriminate against transgender people. And now we have this situation now where if you argue against toilets for boys, girls or anybody in a school, where the girls at the school are kind of intimidated and don't like it, well, you're kind of transphobic. Now, this is what happens when the agenda kicks in. And we won't have time to go into it now, but I go into it in the books, particularly my last book, about what this transgender agenda is really about. And it's absolutely nothing to do with stopping discrimination against transgender people, nothing. There's a much longer goal.
Is any of this about that stuff, or is it just about the control and the ultimate limiting of information? And is it all about the same goal? About keeping us politically correct?
It's all about the same goal, but you know, if we have the time to go into the whole the technology agenda and the AI agenda, then you know, maybe I could bring it in there. But the point being that when it's the agenda, everything gets ridden over roughshod. I'll give you an example. There was the feminist movement, and the feminist movement wanted more equality for women. Okay, my hands go up again. And not discriminating against women, my hands go up again. Yeah, I'm all with you. I think that has now gone the other way, where there's discrimination against men. I mean, you know, we've gone past the balance point, but anyway. But so feminism was, if you like, the politically correct subject of the time. But now this other agenda's coming in, which is the transgender agenda, which is now usurping the feminist agenda. It means that if you're a feminist, this is now, you can see it widely, if you're a feminist and you don't, for instance, think that women's sport should be destroyed as a competition, and it is being increasingly, by people with male bodies that identify as women taking part in women's sport. I mean, who do they think is going to win the weightlifting? If women, as we've seen with people like Martina Navratilova, the tennis player, and others, if you then, as someone representing women, say, this is destroying our sport, you are now a transphobic. You are now this and anist and whatever, because you're getting in the way of the agenda.
Bitch, you got a dick? Put it out. You got a dick?
Is you gonna hit me?
I might. But you got a dick?
Hey!
Fucking serious.
Alright, Chop. It's gonna get fixed. Chop! Come on, Chop, bro.
Yes, I can't believe this punk ass, bitch ass, block boy, dick in the booty ass nigga. He's a nasty ass bitch. This a nasty hoe. You nasty bitch. Look at this bitch. This bitch got a nigga on her. Look, what the fuck is that?
Oh, here, look dick for us when she has. Here's that little fucking tranny. You see this pussy? Look.
Nah, you right. Shut your bitch ass up.
That nigga Lee Brown was eating that tranny ass, y'all. Y'all really want to see this video on bro? I would make niggas kill themselves. You faggot ass niggas.
Hey y'all, come on out. This video is for the gays. I really love y'all. I really love y'all. Y'all just do it for me. You know? So today I come to y'all with a heavy heart. Please. Can y'all do me one favor? Please. I love y'all. Can y'all just save a sprinkle of dick, a teaspoon, a pinch of dick? Just save a pinch of dick for me, please. Because it ain't no more out here. Y'all done took them out. Please, they love y'all. These niggas love y'all. Please start turning them down, some of them. It ain't but 3 straight niggas in Atlanta. And I think one of them is DL. So that means we arguing over 2 niggas. Please, can you just, I fuck around and have to get me an old lady. I don't want to eat no coochie. I don't even know how to. Please, can y'all just stop this and just stop this? We arguing over 2 niggas down here. Oh.
Social media is the devil's new playground. A new way to program the mind of the masses on a more relatable level with average everyday people who look just like them. A lot of the verified YouTubers and the so-called random people who go viral on the internet, some are paid actors and secret agents working for the occult to help further their homosexual agenda. They use viral marketing campaigns on sites like The Shade Room, World Star Hip Hop, Instagram to expose men with transgenders, push transgenderism so that you become desensitized to it. Their main target and demographic is black single vulnerable mothers with sons, because they know that some black women tend to lead with their heart and emotions and won't recognize their agenda or see the long-term negative impact it will have on their son.
A deadly disease is rampant across the metro area, and scientists are calling it an epidemic. Channel 2's Dave Huddleston met with doctors who are now comparing parts of the metro area to third world countries.
That's exactly right. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention statistics suggest 1 in 51 Georgians will be diagnosed with HIV in their lifetime. And Atlanta is the epicenter of the Southern epidemic.
They sell narratives that women will buy into. Social media will become the son's proverbial father, and the son can become influenced to become a transgender. They also place transgenders next to women in music videos, so that a trans are seen as a woman. But little did you know, you've been watching a lot of transgenders the entire time.
Well, well, well. You look at the video yourself. Think just because it got titties and a wig on, in a bikini, don't mean shit. Look at them big ass hands and them shoulders. It's the same one. Let's try to zoom in. This is the same one, man, that was next to Pac rubbing on his shoulders and shit. Look at that neck, man.
No names mentioned, but in Biggie's video, Big Papa, there's a transgender in there named Shamika. She's the girl that is Busta Rhymes is talking to at the bar, and then when Biggie come, he move him out the way and he start rapping to her. She is also the same girl that's in the bed with Biggie in the Warning video. When Biggie get on the phone and she's leaning on him, he like knocks off. That was a transgender.
Halle Berry is listening to the criticism. The Oscar winner announced that she will no longer consider playing a transgender man in an upcoming movie, following backlash from the LGBTQ community. The actress first discussed the role in an Instagram Live with hairstylist Kristen Brown.
I'm thinking of a character where the woman is a trans character. So there's going to have to be, she's a woman that transitioned into a man.
Wow.
The backlash Halle Berry received for wanting to play a transgender or a man was staged. This was to bring awareness. The public outcry was simply to condition and open up women to the idea of transforming into a man, as they are programming women to become more masculine. This is why they've placed artists like Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion at the forefront to tap into the emotion of all of the battered women who were broken-hearted by men. With majority of men turning to homosexuality, women will be single and lonely. So in order for them to date men, they will have to transform into a man. The masses would like to believe that Lauryn Hill wasn't a part of the occult as well. With 5 Grammy Awards, I would have to beg to differ. There are no heroes or saviors in this world. At the height of her success, Lauryn Hill's biggest records were about women being hurt by men, such as songs like X Factor. But the occult also believe in duality, so this is why you had songs like Doo Wop, That Thing. This is why you see Lauryn Hill as a double with white and black for duality. Her role was to make women and men watch out for the corrupted, thugged out men and thoughts of the next generations.
how Cardi B and Meg Thee Stallion brainwash younger women. Now, before I get started, I just want to say this. When it comes to women doing this, psychologically, it's in woman's nature to do it. One, it gives her a sense of security because she's getting paid to do it, all right? Secondly, it makes a woman feel sexy. When women get paid to do things like this, it makes them feel sexy to watch a man lust over them. This is why you have a lot of girls that get into porn. And the reason why they get into porn is because they feel worthless, and having a lot of guys that want to have sex with them actually makes them feel pretty. Before we can start talking about Cardi B and start talking about Meg Thee Stallion, you must understand that the thottiness goes all the way back to the Little Kim. All right? Anybody that grew up in the 90s will tell you that Little Kim was pretty much the first thought of the scene. One thing that you have to understand about black entertainers is that black entertainers are leaders to the black community, especially black women. All right? That's what I want a lot of people to understand. In the black community, black women look at entertainers for inspiration. They look at entertainers as their role models. So this is what's caused everything, and it causes everyone to make money off of the women because they're promoting false image for future victims. Women are taught, as long as you're making money, it's okay. You're independent because you don't need a man. They promote LGBT in their communities. In their videos, right? Even Nicki Minaj, even Cardi B, all of them. They promote the LGBT. They'll kiss another girl. They'll do videos with other girls. They promote unification of women. They promote the lesbianhood. And the rest of the world follow, even specifically in the black community, all right? Next, they promote independence, but sell their souls for it. All right? I want everyone to catch on to that. They promote independence, but they sell their souls for it. All right? Let's go to the next slide. Okay. This is going to be the leaders get worse every 3 years. But we can kind of like throw that back a little bit. Every time they get a new leader, she get worse. And I've made a video about this, all right? How women get worse. Let's first start off with Beyonce. All right, let me pull myself back up. See, after the Lauryn Hill era, that's when Beyonce and Destiny's Child started coming in, all right? That's when the independent thing really started kicking in, was about 2000, 2002, 2003. That's when all that started kicking in, when Beyonce was teaching women how to be business women and independent. See, that's what you got to understand. When Beyonce took flight and Beyonce started promoting what she was promoting independence in women. All right? That's why they had songs, if you couldn't pay my bills, you can't be with me. She was pretty much saying, all right, if I'm doing this as a guy, you have to match it. That's the thing about women. When women started getting a little bit of power, right? They turned around and told their man, hey, if you want to be with me, you got to do what I do. But a man has never did that to a woman. You feel what I'm saying? A man ain't never did that to a woman at all. A man hasn't gotten successful and said, hey, now that I'm a CEO of a company, the only way that I'm going to date you is if you become a CEO of a company. Men don't say that. Men become CEOs of companies, right? And they want to take care of a woman who may not have everything in life. We're always thinking to take care of. You know what I mean? That's what happened. So when Beyonce came, she promoted a woman to be independent, but go dig at the same time. She's the one that got the women saying, I got this, what do you have? I got this, what do you have? Right? Then next leader came Nicki Minaj. And like I said, each leader got worse and got worse. When Nicki Minaj came in, she took on the independent thing. But you gotta realize, Nicki Minaj wasn't talking to smart women. Beyonce was. Beyonce was talking to women that were going to college, going to school. But when Nicki Minaj came, she talked to another demographic, a demographic of lazy women that did not want to go to school, that didn't want to own businesses. They was taught to use their sexuality. So when Nicki Minaj hit the scene, she taught the women how to use their sexuality, but be mean like a man. Run game like a man. You know, Beyonce was kind of like, all right, you can't be with me unless you level up. That's how Beyonce was. You can't be with me unless you level up. But Nicki Minaj came and she put a price on everything. She says, you can't be with me unless you buy me this watch, unless you buy me this purse, unless you buy me this and buy me that, right? So I'm gonna get a whole bunch of guys to buy me a lot of things. And being that I got them to buy me a lot of things, now I'm a boss chick. You feel what I'm saying? Because I have a lot of things, but the things that she did to get those things, she had to sell her soul. Understand that. They made getting money soulless, and it went through the generation and generation of women. So, what's the weird part about all this? When you break down the Beyoncés and you break down the Nicki Minaj's and you break down the Cardi B's so far, right? Just those three, just those two. I just want people to know. The Beyonce been married 18 years. Nicki Minaj went back and grabbed a broke dude to have a kid with, right? But she done told every girl out there, you're not supposed to be with a broke dude. A dude is supposed to be paying for you if he wants you. Like, come on now, get it here. So the women are conditioned that I don't be with a man unless he purchased me. But she went and purchased a man. She's a hypocrite to her own world. Now, let's go into Cardi B. But you got to realize this. If you go back and look at Beyonce's, women were all a certain way. They were more sophisticated. They wanted to be educated, but they just wanted to outdo a man and be independent. Then the trend of Nicki Minaj came in. Women started showing a little bit more skin, fake booties, titties, different color wigs. Now we going into Cardi B, which is full-blown soul selling, because she comes from a world of prostitution. She comes from the world of stripping. They glorified it. They glorified. That's what she came. She taught women that it's okay to be a prostitute. You know what I'm saying? Nicki Minaj was kind of like, hey man, if you want to be with me, you got to do this and you got to do that. But Cardi B was just like, how much up front? How much you want? Period. They glorified stripping. She pushed girls into being stripping. It's a way to become independent. It's a way to do all that. Just go into stripping. Once you go into stripping, the first thing that happens is these women get on drugs because they got to numb themselves out just to go on stage. After 2 years, they good as dead. They're no good to nobody. But that sense of security and feeling sexy always kicks in for a woman. You got to think about it. As long as she's getting money, she don't need a man, she good. As long as some guy always wants to sleep with her, she feels sexy. As long as she has both of these feelings, she becomes delusional to her reality. She's not realizing she's destroying herself while trying to feel more power than what she really is because of the music. Each one of these leaders that women paid attention to, from Beyonce to Nicki Minaj to Cardi B, got worse and worse and worse. Right? All of their leaders got worse. So did the quality of woman in real life. She got worse and worse and worse. Look at the women now. Most women have a disconnection between man and woman. And we're talking real men and real women. These beta males that are in their DM gassing them up, they were there even before this problem. Now, we're going to go into the Meg Thee Stallion part. Meg Thee Stallion. All right, let me bring this up. Meg Thee Stallion. Meg Thee Stallion. Hold on. Meg Thee Stallion. Let's bring her up. Meg Thee Stallion is not that pretty. She's not. When you look at Meg Thee Stallion, you don't feel anything with her. It's like she's the motion of everything that went wrong. She's the transformation of a woman becoming manly. She's all of them in one. She's the end result of all of their leadership, that she is borderline a man. The next star after her has to be trans. Listen to what I'm telling you. She's too far of a manly woman, masculine woman, to be a sexy woman. She's the last barrier right there. The next star, I'm telling you, is going to be trans.